So we are starting this new chapter, electrostatic. Actually, one chapter of the same heading, electrostatic, we have studied in 11. This is the next part of that. ॲक्च्युली आपल्याला बोर्डच्या सिलेबसमध्ये इलेक्ट्रोस्टॅटिक चॅप्टरचे 2 पार्ट केलेले आहेत. काही पार्ट आपण 11ला आहे, काही पार्ट 12ला आहे. CBSEमध्ये सर्वचे सर्व पोर्शन 12चाच टाकलेला असतो. तर 11चा इलेक्ट्रोस्टॅटिकचा पार्ट इथे आपल्याला लागणारच आहे. त्याचा काही पार्ट लागत राहणार आहे. सो आय विल टेल इट टाइम टू टाइम. नाउ इन दिस टॉपिक फॉर कोरोना some articles are deleted and the articles are like this. Articles and their name from the chapter electrostatic are like this. So page number 194, 195. 194, 195. Article number 8.5. Equipotential surface. Equipotential surfaces. Next, page number 199. Article number 8.7 and name of the article is conductors and insulators. Conductors and insulators. Actually, we need this difference for current electricity chapter, therefore we are going to consider this. And one more article is the free charges and bound charges. Free charges and bound charges. Without this article, we cannot explain the article like polarization, effect of polar and non-polar dielectric. हे पण आर्टिकल आपल्याला बघावं लागणार. Third, 208. (8.11) displacement current. Displacement current. And last article is 8.13. (8.13), 210 and 11. Van de Graaff generator. Van de Graaff generator. So this article, displacement current, we are going to study in electromagnetic induction. The chapter electromagnetic induction. EMI is a short form. Electromagnetic induction. It is better to study this article in the chapter इलेक्ट्रोमॅग्नेटिक इंडक्शन. हे आपण ते घेणार आहोत, पण ह्या चॅप्टरमध्ये घेणार आहोत. व्हॅन डे ग्राफ जनरेटर मात्र आपण काही घेणार नाही. सो वी विल नॉट टेक दिस आर्टिकल like this. So this is the part deleted. but we are going to refer these articles. इक्विपोटेन्शियल सरफेसचं पण आर्टिकल आपण कन्सिडर करणार आहोतच ते लक्षात. Now let us start actually the syllabus of this chapter. So electrostatic. In the name of the chapter there is a word static. Static means stationary, at rest. So we know already this meaning. There are two types of electricity. One is a static electricity and other is a current electricity. So what is the difference between them? In this case, electric charges are at rest or static or stationary. On this side, the electrical charges are in motion. Electrical charges are in motion. So, we are going to see this branch of electricity. The study of the property of the electrical charges at rest is called as a electrostatic. So the meaning of electrostatic can be given like this. Electrostatic. The study of properties of electric charges at rest is called electrostatic. Properties. We consider the forces between the static charges, electric field, electric potential, energy, etc. Like this. याच्यातला काही प्रॉपर्टी आपण लास्ट इयरला ऑलरेडी बघितलेले. Force, it is given by Coulomb's law. It is vector quantity having magnitude having direction. Electric field intensity, electric potential, this is a vector quantity, this is a scalar quantity. Electric field intensity, electric potential energy, like this. Electric dipole, their properties, electric lines of force. Etc. So the study of all these properties, electric forces, electric field, electric potential energy, electric dipole, electric lines of force, so etc. is called as electrostatic. So some property we have already studied last year, some property we will study this year. Potential ही टर्म या वर्षी आपण बघणार आहोत डिटेल मध्ये. Also, so this is about the electrostatic. Now, after getting idea of electrostatic, the first article is about the Gauss's law. So Gauss law is stated in electrostatic as well as in magnetic field. Gauss's law in electrostatic. It is also called as the Gauss law. Gauss law in electrostatic, Gauss law in magnetism. So the statement is like this. Statement of the Gauss's law. The statement is given like this. Net electric flux, net or resultant or total, net electric flux over a closed surface of any shape is equal to the ratio of net electric charge net electric charge Q enclosed by the surface to the permittivity of the surrounding medium. Permittivity of the surrounding medium. Therefore, you can give the statement mathematically. Electric flux, it is generated by phi. Electric flux phi is equal to Q upon epsilon naught, where epsilon naught is equal to permittivity, electrical permittivity of the surrounding medium. Actually, if the medium is air, then we use naught. If the medium is not air, not vacuum, not free space, then we will use only epsilon. So you can also change like this. This is equal to Q upon K epsilon naught, electrical permittivity of the surrounding medium, and this epsilon is given by K times epsilon naught. Epsilon naught is a permittivity of the air or vacuum or free space, and we already know its value 8.85 into 10⁻²2, and K is it is called as dielectric constant. Last year we have made this table: medium, value of E, medium and value of E, air, or free space or vacuum or all the three mid-I, we take K is equal to 1. For mica sheet, K is equal to between 4 to 5. For marble, K is equal to 8. For water, K is equal to 81, and the most important quantity is the metal. For metal, K is equal to infinity. It is a very good conductor. Metal is a good conductor. Like this. So we know already this value. We will require this value sometimes. Like this. Now, in this equation, we know the meaning of the denominator epsilon. It is the electrical permittivity of the surrounding medium. It is given by K multiplied by epsilon naught. K is a dielectric constant. It is also called as the relative permittivity. It is also called as a relative permittivity. This K is also called epsilon R. It has no unit like refractive index. Relative permittivity. It is given by K is equal to epsilon naught is equal to epsilon upon epsilon naught. So both have same unit, cancel no unit. K has no unit. Now Q is a net charge. Q is equal to net charge. So how this net charge is calculated? So we will consider some examples. Example 1. Suppose this is a closed surface of any shape. This surface is called as Gaussian surface. ज्या surface साठी आपण Gauss theorem apply करतो त्याला Gaussian surface म्हणतात. So in this Gaussian surface, suppose this is the charge plus 10 coulomb. This is the charge say minus 7 coulomb plus 6 coulomb and minus 13 coulomb. So in this equation, Q is equal to plus 10 plus 6 minus 7 minus 13 coulomb. So this is equal to plus 16 minus 20. So Q is equal to minus 4 coulomb. So net charge may be positive, may be negative, or even it may be 0. This is one example. Now we will consider second example. Second example. This is the Gaussian surface. Say this charge is say plus 8 coulomb. This is minus 5 coulomb. This is minus 3 coulomb. So in this case, Q is equal to 0. Plus 8 minus 5 minus 6. Like this. Example 3. This is the closed surface of any shape. Say this is equal to plus 2 coulomb, plus 9 coulomb, and minus 4 coulomb. So Q is equal to plus 2 plus 9 minus 4. So Q is equal to 11 minus 4, that is equal to plus 7 coulomb. So Q may be positive, Q may be 0, or Q may be negative. It is a net charge, may be positive, may be negative. If the charge is positive, we know that what will happen? The electric lines of forces will pass away through the surface. आतून बाहेर जातील lines of force. If the net charge is negative, electric lines of forces come into. Electric lines of forces end on negative charge, therefore electric lines of forces will enter from outside to inside. And if Q is equal to 0, no electric lines of forces are passing through the Gaussian surface like this. But Q's meaning high. Q is a net charge, maybe positive, maybe negative, maybe 0, like this. So these are simple examples that we can use. So we have proved this Gauss's theorem, Gauss law, in the 11th syllabus. So proof is not required, but some equations related with Gauss theorem are important. When we see the applications uses of Gauss's theorem, then we have to use one more equation for the electric flux, and it is given like this. So the term electric flux is defined as definition. The number of electric lines of force passing normally means perpendicular, passing normally through given area may have any value. जेवढा एरिया जास्त तेवढा जास्त लाइन्स ऑफ फोर्सेस पास होतील, फ्लक्स वाढेल. द नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक लाइन्स ऑफ फोर्सेस पासिंग नॉर्मली थ्रू गिवन एरिया is called electric flux. So now we will use this figure. Suppose this is a closed surface of any shape. Now if we consider a small area ds, and here the charge plus q is kept like this. So due to this charge q, there is some electrical intensity at this point. Intensity E is in this direction and area vector is in this direction. Area vector is always drawn perpendicular to the area. This is a given area ds. So this angle is theta. So if we consider a component, so this is the component of E normal to ds, E cos theta. So component E cos theta is perpendicular to area ds. Therefore, d phi is equal to small electric flux passing through small area ds of Gaussian surface. So d phi is given by E dot ds. It is a dot product. Electric flux is a scalar quantity, and therefore it is given by d phi is equal to E into ds into cos of theta, where this theta is a very important quantity. Theta is the angle between directions of electric intensity vector E and area vector ds. So area vector चा रूल आपल्याला माहिती आहे. Area vector is always drawn normal to the given area. So remember this rule. Area vector ds is drawn always area vector ds is drawn always perpendicular to the surface. Again, I will give the same example. Suppose this is a closed surface like this. So for this surface, the area vector will be in the direction normal. For this surface, area vector will be normal in the direction. For this surface, area vector will be in the direction. For this surface, area vector will be in the upward direction. For this surface, area vector will be in the downward direction. For this surface, area vector will be in this direction. For ceiling, area vector will be in this direction. For blackboard, area vector will be in this direction. For this wall, area vector will be in this direction like this. Area की value किती पण असू शकेल. It may be small, it may be large, but area vector is always drawn perpendicular like this. Now, if you want to find the electric flux through the whole surface, it is denoted by phi. Phi is equal to total electric flux through whole Gaussian surface. Whole Gaussian surface. Then phi is obtained by integrating d phi, by integrating E dot ds, by integrating E ds cos of theta. Like this. So total electric flux is given by integration. For small area ds, for total area of the Gaussian surface, like this. Now we know that any trigonometric function has no unit, it has no unit. Intensity is in Newton per coulomb and this is in meter square. So phi has a SI unit, volt per meter multiplied by meter square, so that is equal to volt into meter, or न्यूटन पर कूलम इंटू मीटर स्क्वेअर, न्यूटन मीटर स्क्वेअर पर कूलम, दोघे युनिट आपल्याला यूज करता येते. जनरली हे युनिट यूज केलं जातं. सो इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स फाय हॅज अ SI unit like this. So we are going to use these two relation. Now in one equation there is only Q charge kept inside the closed surface and permittivity, and in another relation there is the electrical intensity E, area vector, ds, etc. So by combining these two relation for electric flux, we can determine the electric field intensity due to a body having the charges. The shape of the body may be different. So now we are going to see the applications of Gauss's theorem. First we are going to consider a charge conductor of spherical shape, and we have to find the electric intensity due to the charge pair at any point outside the closed surface, like this. So this is the first application that we are going to see. Electric intensity E due to a charged sphere. Now I will give rough idea. Suppose this is a sphere, may be solid or may be hollow. You can use any sphere, solid or hollow. Now the charges are given. We know that charges are always distributed uniformly. Charges कमी दाखवते सारखे असतात. So these charges will produce the electric field in the surrounding region. We know this formula. Electric field intensity is equal to Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught kr square. पण फरक काय आहे, या इक्वेशन मध्ये Q चार्ज आपण एकाच पॉइंटला कन्सिडर केलेला आहे आणि इथे तो चार्ज आपण डिस्ट्रीब्यूट केलेला आहे. सो कन्सिडर एनी पॉइंट P outside the sphere. So what is the direction of electrical intensity? What is the magnitude of electrical intensity that we have to find using Gauss theorem? तर हा P पॉइंट नेहमी आउटसाइड घ्यायचा असतो. इनसाइड जर घेतला तर इंटेन्सिटीची व्हॅल्यू काढण्यासाठी गॉस थेरमची गरजच नाही. वी हॅव ऑलरेडी सीन दिस प्रॉपर्टी लास्ट इयर. ॲट एनी पॉइंट इनसाइड द कंडक्टर ऑफ एनी शेप, द इलेक्ट्रिक इंटेन्सिटी व्हॅनिशेस. हा पी पण जर इथे घेतला तर इंटेन्सिटी झिरोच होणार आहे. गॉस थेरमची गरजच नाही आपल्याला. आपण फक्त हा आउटसाइड पॉईंट कन्सिडर करणार. द चार्जेस गिव्हन मे बी पॉझिटिव्ह मे बी निगेटिव्ह, सो देर इज सम इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इंटेन्सिटी. जर निगेटिव्ह चार्ज दिला तर फक्त डायरेक्शन रिव्हर्स होऊन जाईल. आपल्याला मॅग्निट्यूड आणि डायरेक्शन दोघे करायचे. सो व्हॉट इज अवर एम? Consider a sphere may be solid, may be hollow, where the charges are given, and because of the charges, electric field is produced at every point in the surrounding region. So we have to find the magnitude and direction of the electric intensity at outside point P by using Gauss's theorem. So we are applying Gauss theorem. So we have to use this situation like this. So for that purpose, we will consider the sphere like this. Suppose this is a sphere. The radius of the sphere is the r. The charge given is plus q. It is distributed uniformly. Like this. This is the uniform distribution of charge. Now, this is the center O. Consider the point P here, and we have to find the electric intensity at point P at distance r. From the center O. So, to find the electric intensity using Gauss theorem, we have to consider the Gaussian surface passing to the point P. आता फिगरमध्ये आपण दोन स्पियर कन्सिडर करतो आहोत. एक हा रिअल स्पियर, त्याला आपण नाव देऊन टाकू ए, आणि दुसरा इमेजिनरी स्पियर. सो दीज आर ॲक्च्युअली स्पियर, बट इन फिगर दे विल सी द टू कॉन्सेंट्रिक सर्कल. तर हा गॉसियन सर्फेस आपण इमेजिन करतो म्हणतो, इमेजिनरी स्पियर जो होतो डॉटेड निकडे. So this is a Gaussian surface of radius r, b. And consider a small area ds surrounding the point P. इथे आपण तो एरिया कन्सिडर केलेला आहे. So area vector ds is in the direction. So we have to determine electric intensity in magnitude in direction at point P outside the sphere. So consider a sphere A having a radius is equal to capital R and charge is equal to plus Q, having radius R, center O, center at O. Now we have to determine the electric intensity at point P. To determine electric intensity in magnitude and direction at point P, imagine a Gaussian surface that is sphere B. How this sphere is imagined? Imagine a Gaussian surface sphere B, concentric with sphere A having radius small r is equal to OP. O to P. P is a point. Consider a small area ds surrounding the point P. इथे आपण हा P पण कन्सिडर केलेला आहे. Consider a small area ds surrounding the point P on Gaussian surface. On Gaussian surface. Therefore, for area ds, electric flux d phi is equal to E dot ds is equal to E dot ds, E into ds into cos of theta. So this is equation 1, where theta is equal to angle between directions of vector E and vector ds at point P. आता एरिया वेक्टरचं डायरेक्शन तर आपल्याला माहिती, एरिया वेक्टर इज ऑलवेज ड्रॉन नॉर्मल, दिस अँगल इज 90 डिग्री. नाउ व्हाट इज द डायरेक्शन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक इंटेन्सिटी ॲट पॉइंट पी? हा चार्ज काही एका पॉइंटला नाही, तो असा डिस्ट्रीब्यूट झालेला आहे. सो आय विल शो हियर रफ फिगरमध्ये आपण दाखवू. सो दिस चार्ज विल प्रोड्यूस सम इलेक्ट्रिक इंटेन्सिटी इन दिस डायरेक्शन. This charge will produce some electric intensity in this direction. This charge will produce some electric intensity in this direction. This charge will produce electric intensity in this direction. This charge will produce electric intensity in this direction like this. So there are so many electrical intensity vector due to each and every charge. Now if we use the law of parallelogram to find the resultant will be in this direction. So the net electric field due to all the charges Q given is in this direction. तर हे डायरेक्शन जर आपण मागे जर वाढवलं तर ते बरोबर सेंटरमधून पास होईल, म्हणजे हा अँगल 90 डिग्री. सो इलेक्ट्रिक इंटेन्सिटी ॲट पॉइंट पी इज डायरेक्टेड नॉर्मल. सो दिस इज अ व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट पॉइंट. इलेक्ट्रिक इंटेन्सिटी ॲट पॉइंट पी इज परपेंडिक्युलर टू स्फीयर A. Sphere A, electric intensity EP is perpendicular to sphere A and sphere B and area ds. So intensity vector is in the direction. And therefore E is parallel to ds, and therefore theta is equal to 0 degree, and therefore cos of theta is equal to 1. या इक्वेशन मध्ये cos of theta बन जातो. And therefore d phi is equal to E into ds into 1. So this is equation 6. E into ds like this. So phi is equal to total electric flux through Gaussian sphere A. Gaussian sphere B. So it is obtained by integrating d phi. So this is equal to integration of E into ds. So E is constant into integration of ds. Why E is constant? Because whatever may be the position of the point P on this sphere, it is equidistant smaller, and therefore now what is this integration of ds? But integration of ds is equal to area, surface area of the sphere B of radius r, and therefore integration of ds is equal to 4 pi r square, and therefore phi is equal to E into 4 pi r square. This is equation capital E. इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्सची व्हॅल्यू आपल्याला मिळाली विदाउट युजिंग गॉस थेरम. इथपर्यंत आपण गॉस थेरम कुठे यूज केले नाही. आता आपल्याला गॉस थेरम यूज करायचा आहे बाय युजिंग गॉसेस थेरम. गॉसेस थेरम फॉर स्फीयर B. I is equal to electric flux phi is equal to total charge inside sphere B upon permittivity of surrounding medium. Therefore, phi is equal to Q. फिगर मध्ये बघा या बी स्फियरच्या आत जो काही चार्ज येतो हा द चार्ज गिवन टू द स्फियर ए अपॉन एप्सिलॉन और Q upon K epsilon naught. So this is the equation B. So this is the value of electric flux through the sphere B. This is the value of electric flux through the sphere B without using Gauss theorem. By using Gauss theorem, equating A and B. Equating A and B. Therefore, E into 4 pi r square is equal to Q upon K epsilon naught, and therefore electric intensity has magnitude Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught K r square. This is equation C. So equation C gives the magnitude, and direction we already know. So direction is perpendicular to the surface area of the sphere, and magnitude is given by this value. So Q is a charge given to the sphere and R is a distance of the point P. As the point P is taken away, R will increase, intensity will go on decreasing like this. So this is magnitude, this is direction. So like this, K is a dielectric constant of the surrounding medium. K is a dielectric constant of the surrounding medium, like this. Equation C gives magnitude, like this. So we know the magnitude and direction. Direction of the intensity is like this. It is perpendicular. See this direction. Intensity at point P at distance r from the center O is perpendicular. This angle is 90 degree. This is also 90 degree because the two spheres are concentric. And magnitude is given by Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught K r square, where r is a distance of the point P from the center of the sphere. K is a dielectric constant of the surrounding medium. ज्या मीडियममध्ये आपण हे दोघे स्पियर इमॅजिन केलेले आहेत त्याचा डायरेक्ट कॉन्स्टंट Q इज ए चार्ज गिवन टू द स्पियर लाईक दिस. सो इन दिस वे वी कॅन फाइंड द मॅग्निट्यूड अँड डायरेक्शन. सो वी नो दिस व्हॅल्यू. नाउ लास्ट इयर when the Q charge is kept at a single point, concentrated at a single point, then its intensity we already know in magnitude and direction. So by using the analogy, we can get one more important conclusion, and we have to give that conclusion separately because it is a very important conclusion and we are going to use that conclusion sometimes. So we know this result. If this is a sphere having charge Q, then at point P at distance r from its center, the intensity is directed away because charge is positive, and magnitude is given by Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught K r square. Now case number 2 that we have seen last year. What is case number 2? This is the point O. where the charge plus q is kept. This is the point P, additional R. So at point P, the intensity is directed away because charge is positive, and this intensity has the magnitude again q upon 4 pi epsilon naught k r square. So see these two equations. Magnitude is same in two cases. Direction is also same. Along OP, q upon 4 pi epsilon naught k r square. So direction and magnitude of the electric intensity is same at point P. But what is the difference? The difference is on this side. The whole charge q is kept at point O, and the charge is distributed on the surface of the sphere like this. या इक्वेशनमध्ये कॅपिटल आर कुठे झालेली नाही, स्पियरची रेडियस. सो यू कॅन कन्सिडर द स्पियर ऑफ लार्जर रेडियस और स्मॉलर रेडियस like this. So what is the conclusion? The charge q given to the sphere and charge q kept at its center will have the same effect at any outside point. So charge given to the sphere, the conclusion is like this. The charge q given to a sphere is supposed to be concentrated at its center. Therefore, center of the charge sphere is also called center of charge. Center of charge. आपण जसं सेंटर ऑफ मासचा कन्सेप्ट बघितलेला आहे. होल मास ऑफ द स्पियर is supposed to be concentrated at its center. It is called as the center of mass. Like center of mass, center of charge. Mass is supposed to be concentrated at the center of the sphere. Charge is supposed to be concentrated at the center of the sphere, and therefore it is called as the center of charge. It is called as the center of mass. So this is a very important conclusion. So we will use this conclusion while we consider the capacity of a charge sphere or conductor like this. So this is about the first application. So remember the procedure. So to derive the magnitude and direction of electric intensity at point P outside the sphere, what we have done, we have imagined this Gaussian surface. It is the imaginary surface, therefore it is shown dotted like this. Now for this Gaussian surface we have calculated the value of the electric flux due to the charge given here like this. तर फायच्या दोन व्हॅल्यू आपण काढल्या. वन व्हॅल्यू विदाउट युजिंग गॉस थेरम. हियर वी हॅव यूज जनरल फॉर्म्युला फाय इज इक्वल टू इंटिग्रेशन ऑफ ई डी एस कॉस ऑफ थीटा, and that comes to be this value e into 4 pi square. Second value for the same Gaussian sphere we have calculated by using Gauss theorem. It is q upon epsilon. Net charge is given here upon permittivity of the surrounding medium k epsilon naught. So equation A and equation B give the value of the electric flux for the same Gaussian sphere B for the same Gaussian surface B, and therefore by equating these two values we get this value. This gives the magnitude and this gives the direction, and then by analogy we have obtained this relation. The whole charge is supposed to be concentrated at its sphere, and therefore O is also called as the center of charge. Like a center of mass, this is the concept of center of mass, center of charge. So whatever may be the radius, R ची व्हॅल्यू काही जरी असली तरी हा चार्ज इथे कॉन्सन्ट्रेट होणारच येतो. Therefore, it is called as the center of charge. So, we will use this procedure for two more shape of the conductor. One is a cylinder and other for a charge plate which is having infinite dimensions like this. Okay, we will stop here. So we have completed first application of Gauss's theorem. Next time we will see two applications simultaneously using the same process.